Usher, caught up playing on Capital Breakfast. Good morning. Now, look, it is the first week of a new school year for a lot of people, right? Now, there is something that I think it would be silly if I didn't talk about it. And I want to chat about it because it needs changing, right? Now, you might have seen this on my social media yesterday. So that was on my Twitter, or X as they call it now. But I posted something up on Instagram. And what I posted was a little bit different from me. I've never done anything like this in my life, but I kind of felt like it was the right moment to do it. So I posted a letter that was to all of government and to all MPs. And it's just an open letter, right? Not expecting it to be read, but it would be nice if someone read it. And what I wanted to do is just talk about the state of, and you know, if you listen to this show, you know that mental health is something that's really close to my heart. And I wanted to be able to talk about how I see it moving forward. Because so many people always talk to me and they go, well, what's the problem? What can you do to stop those numbers? And I've always spoken about, you know, how people can talk to one another and be able to say, like, you know, are you okay? And are you okay twice? And those types of things. But there comes a point where actually when someone is in crisis, they need to know where they can go. And what I've realized is that so many people, so many brave people over the last kind of couple of years, those numbers of people that are going, okay, I've realized I've got a problem. I need somewhere to go and get that help. That help isn't readily available to them. And unfortunately, that help isn't available at the youngest age possible, which is in schools. And schools is where it all starts, right? School is where, you know, we form the behaviors that we have as adults. If we develop mental health problems in schools, it's more than likely that they do carry to be worse in later life. And so there is something that's really strange in the school system within the UK at the minute, because look, when we've got it here, right? When a kid goes into school, if they break their ankle, they'd be treated immediately, right? And what I'm talking about, kids as young as 8, 9. But if a kid goes into school and shows signs of depression, or, you know, and I'm genuinely, this will be a trigger warning to a lot of people. So, you know, just putting that out there. There are children as young as 8 that do have thoughts of wanting to take their own life. That is a real thing that happens in this country. And currently, there isn't a lot of places for that child to go to. And when I delved into it and I looked into it, and there's a thing called mental health support teams, right? And these mental health support teams are incredible, right? They're amazing. There's someone who's a dedicated, you know, practitioner who can help not only, you know, the pupil themselves, they can help with the teachers, they can help with the parents in terms of how to deal with a child that is showing those kind of signs of poor mental health. And that does cost money. It does cost money from the government. And the government currently, what they're doing is they are saying that we will have a target to put mental health support teams into schools. The only problem with it is their target currently is 36%.
Of schools?
Of schools.
So that's roughly a third of schools.
So it's roughly a third of schools.
Yeah. And I think, look, you put this letter up on your social media, and you have got a platform, and you have been doing so much research into this topic and on this subject. And I think it's really good that you put this letter up. And I hope if anyone gets a second that they get to see that letter and they can share it. And I know you are often about starting conversations around this topic. I think it's really good that you do that, mate. And as a parent, I was quite shocked at what you were saying there, because I haven't even thought to go and ask the school, like, how do you look after my child's mental health and that. So I think it's a really important discussion that you're starting, right?
Yeah.
And fair play to you for using your platforms for doing it. I think it's going to make a lot of noise today.
No, thank you. I just, do you know what it is? Yeah, is it like I'm merely asking them, right? And I can't believe I'm saying this, because I at the start of all this, I was like, I'm not a campaigner. I'm not like one of those types of people. But I think it's fair enough that us, as the UK, as this great country that we call ourselves, I think it's fair enough to say that the people in power should change that idea that their target is a mere 36%. That means the rest of the kids in the country, the rest of that percentage, are in a lottery as to whether or not they will have support with their mental health. And all I'm saying, I don't want a date, I don't want a guarantee of money, I'm not asking for money, I'm just saying, change your target from 36% to 100%.
Well, it
Because
feels
that's what
like
anything should be.
Yeah.
If you go into an exam and you say, you know, what's your goal here? Imagine a kid goes into school and says, my goal here on this test is 36% and I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, it should be standard. And I think, not that I know enough about it, I know you've done a lot of research into it, Roman, and I know you've visited a lot of schools and all this. It feels like common sense that if we tackle these problems earlier the better.
And do you know what? That I didn't want to post a letter, but I was rejected. I've tried to get chats with certain people. I've tried to talk to certain people, and I got rejected. I got told that I couldn't speak to them.
This is great, and that's what you can use your social media for good, and everyone can, and everyone should feel like they have a voice. So fair play to you for doing it, and thank you everyone listening for letting us have this conversation this morning as well.
Thank you.
And yeah, good luck with it all, Ro. And if you want to go see this letter, it's on Roman socials. I think it's going to make a lot of noise today, as I said. And yeah, we're going to support you, man.
Thanks, dude. Sorry, it all went very serious.
Yeah, it's good.